Welcome back to the glass cabinets. Today we're going to be talking about, is it mortgage fraud or not? Is this potentially a situation that a lender is going to consider mortgage fraud? Mortgage fraud is something that so many people don't talk about. They're always busy trying to sell you a mortgage. They're like, get a mortgage with me, get a mortgage with me. But at the same point, like if you're working with a good lender, we don't want to help you commit fraud. We want nothing to do with it. And I feel like people aren't intentionally. Do you feel like people? You get it more than I do.
Yeah, because I'm more like on the front. So some people do. Like they'll ask questions and they just clearly don't know that it's mortgage fraud. And then I walk them through it, and they're like, "Oh my God, like that makes so much sense. Like that's not what I'm trying to do." Whereas other people will just flat out be like, "So how can we make this work? Like, is there a loophole?" Or I'm sure Yeah. And I'm just like, no, no. So it's both, but I would say more so it's, people committing mortgage fraud that don't realize it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably fair. So we're going to do some scenarios. I'm going to just go through some scenarios, and they're going to identify with these buzzers, because I bought these for like $12 on Amazon, so I really want to get my money's worth. If it's not mortgage fraud, what does it sound like? If it is mortgage fraud, what does it sound like? Okay, I am going to do some that are not mortgage fraud. Okay, and this video is stemming from, I actually had this guy, like this was like a year ago, like I can only talk about it now because I was so traumatized. It was like, it's one of the reasons I don't do as many phone calls anymore on the front, because I was like, so traumatized. You're like,
so now, yeah, thanks.
That's why she does it now. Anyways, so this guy was yelling at me, like screaming at me that it's my job to tell him how to do what he wants, even though what he was trying to do was completely fraudulent. And like, I could not get off the phone. There was no way to get off the phone. And he was like threatening me. It was the craziest call I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to call us and threaten us because we won't help you commit mortgage fraud, we have a new policy where we hang up. We scream, tunnel, and we hang up. So if you're getting aggressive and you hear that we're in a tunnel, it's because you're trying to commit mortgage fraud, and we can't be a party to that.
Or can I just have this? Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, you can take that home with you.
Okay.
You can take them all home for your kids. Okay, so here we go. Let's go through some scenarios, because you guys may not realize that you're trying to commit mortgage fraud. Sometimes it's very innocent. So here we go. I'm making these up as we go. This could be terrible. Husband and wife. Oh my God, they're so in love, guys. They live in Chicago and they want to move to Florida. They want to buy a house in Florida right now. They're going to retire in 4 years, but they want to get that Florida house now. They want to use their VA loan. Okay, you can't do that. Why can't you do that?
So VA is really strict on occupancy, and you have to be occupying that home, and if they're still working in Chicago, they obviously can't be actually living in Florida until they retire and physically move out there for real. So they'd have to wait.
So what we'll see a lot is we'll see people who are doing low down payment, like 0%, or they're trying to do a conventional 3%, and they're trying to utilize these low down payment loans, which are owner occupied. And whether it's VA, conventional, FHA, or jumbo, you have to live in that house within 60 days. So if your goal is to live there in a year or two, it does not count as owner occupied. So that's really important to know. Okay, let's see here. I've got another one for you. So buyer wants to buy a house with his brother. They're going to buy a 2-unit together. They're both going to live there. That's okay. You can do that.
There's more. Sorry.
You were looking for the fraud. There was none. There was no fraud. There was no fraud. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. So mom and dad don't qualify to buy a house, but their daughter does. So the daughter's going to say that she lives there, but mom and dad are going to live there, and the daughter's going to... Did you want me to stop?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's too real.
So a lot of times people want to help out their family members, and so what they'll do, because we end up with it on the back end. We've had a couple clients where they used like FHA or something to buy a house, and their parents lived in there, and now they're trying to buy their own house, but they've got this other house under their name. Yeah. Their parents are living there. They never declared rental history. It it was never supposed to be a rental because they said they were living there, it's a mess. So you really want to stay away from that. Do you remember that one?
I do. It was
that's
really,
why
I said it's too real.
Yeah. You're like,
I remember.
I know the story. So, and in that case, what really sucked is when they first bought that house, we weren't the lender. Another lender said, don't worry about it. They weren't thinking about the kid long term and their housing history. The lender was just thinking about getting a quick loan for themselves and a paycheck. So, okay. Now, if you guys have any scenarios you want to do, please feel free to cut me off. It'd be really awkward if I got it wrong, but please feel free. Okay, so let's do another one I get a lot. Here we go. Okay. I live in a community property state. There's 9 in the country. I just defined that as a buyer. Okay, so the buyer lives in a community property state. They are doing a government loan. The buyer has really good credit. Her husband's credit's the worst. He has so much debt. Oh my God, all he does is get debt. Can we just pretend he's dead? No, okay. Sam, do you want to explain why we can't just pretend someone's dead?
Yeah, so in a community property state, when you're doing a government loan program like VA, FHA, etc., spouses' debts have to be included on the loan, even if they're not a borrower on the loan, because your debts and assets are shared together in those community property states.
Correct. Okay, here's the next one. I got a call. And the buyer said to me, I'm in contract. Can you send me rates for a second home and an investment property? I want to see which is best. Okay, now you guys may be going, what? You can't even ask for a rate comparison? No. So, yes, but no. Here's the deal. You're either buying a second home or you're buying an investment property. You're not picking based on rate. That's like saying, can you send me investment property and owner occupied? Well, of course, owner occupied rates are going to be better, but guess what? If you plan to rent it out, it's an investment property. So we need to treat it as an investment property. Okay? Exactly. Let's see here. Okay, I know what else to do. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so buyer's in contract. And they call and they say, hey, I just want to make sure you already verified my employment. Did you already verify my employment? And we go, well, yeah, we already did. Is everything okay? Well, I don't have my job anymore, but that's okay because you already verified it, right? Sam? Or Alyssa?
I don't even have words.
Well, yeah, we based your pre-approval off this income that was incoming to pay for the mortgage for the loan we're going to lend you, and now you're telling us that no longer exists and we're just supposed to cross our fingers and hope you get another job that's paying the same, the same way. So, that one's pretty... Yeah, but it does happen.
It happens a lot. Yeah. And so the thing is that when you guys fill out an application, we're lending to you based off of that application. So if anything on that application changes, it affects your ability to qualify. So if you disclose to us or if we find out that something's changed, and if you are trying to hide it from us, it's fraud. And if you're asking us, well, can you just forget that you knew that? We can't. We can lose our license.
I had somebody, before they applied, say... I just bought a car a couple days ago. If you run my credit now, it won't show up. I'm like,
that's definitely a good one. So whenever you're getting a loan, they're going to be asking if you took out any new debt. And if you lie, you're committing fraud.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So they were calling you, actively plotting how to not have, and the stupidest thing is that the reason they're trying to exclude that car is because their debt to income is going to be too high to qualify. Yeah. And if your debt to income is too high to qualify, you can't make the payment.
Yeah, so you don't want to buy a house and then not be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Very confusing. But yeah, I was like, oh, this happens.
You're like, this is not unusual. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's any good other ones we get. We get a lot of them, I feel like.
Yeah, sometimes.
A lot of times it's just people yelling at us.
Or me.
Well, I get some of it though, because I'll get through and they're like, I'll answer my phone on occasion. They'll be like, What do you mean you can't use my tax returns that show no income? I told you that the income at the top's it. All the write-offs are fake. Just use it. Why are you such a... Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But I think the biggest fraudulent things we get is really just when people try to manipulate an application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got another good one. Okay. I should probably do some that aren't fraudulent.
But fraud is so fun.
Fraud is
fun.
Great. That's Alyssa's slogan, everyone. Fraud is fun. Okay, maybe not. Okay, husband and wife are thinking of refinancing. They want to refinance because they're getting divorced. However, they don't have any marital separation documents yet, so they want you to pretend like they didn't tell you they're getting divorced.
I get that one a lot.
All the time,
actually.
yeah.
A lot.
So if you guys are getting divorced, it's really important that you know, can you refinance? You know, it depends on the loan type. Certain
That's a good
ones you
one.
have to be
That's
fully
a good one.
divorced. But on other ones, we have to have at least a signed marital separation agreement by lawyers or a judge or the attorneys are the lawyers, in order to do that. We have to see how the money is going to be split. And if you say, well, can you just forget that I'm going through divorce? No, because your whole financial situation is going to change. So it's really important that you guys know that's another one that we hit a lot. The key to all of this is, like, if you're trying to hide something or telling us to forget something, it's probably fraud.
It's probably
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah. Do you guys think we missed any big ones?
No, those are kind of the ones I feel like we see the most.
Yeah, I did have one that was pretty amazing, that he wasn't going to tell his wife. It was a funny story. Messed up but funny. He wasn't going to tell his wife he was leaving her until he had keys to the new house.
Oh. Sign a rental agreement.
I mean, that's the thing.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably another video, is when does it make more sense to rent than buy?
That's
And
true.
that would be a good
Yeah.
one, because I don't know about you, but if my husband, like, he's here, he's outside. If he did that, what would you do?
Probably shouldn't discuss that on.
Okay, we'll just leave with fraud is not fun. So if you guys are ever wondering if you're trying to commit mortgage fraud and you want to know, feel free to call us. We'll let you know.
Yeah. I'll just have this right by the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the key is, like, look, you can totally get a loan, get a house, all that great stuff. You don't need to commit fraud. The only time people are trying to commit fraud, it's because they're not in a position to buy yet and they're impatient. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So as always, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you soon.